G'day there guys, what's the best thing that happened to you today? It's Markee here and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the A-hole? Now, if you love today's content, I want you to tell me why you love it, sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and smash that like button. Enjoy! Posted by user Performance Senior. Titled, Am I the A-hole for telling someone that his wife used to bully me in high school? This happened a couple of years ago, but it's still bugging me, so I thought I'd share it. I had recently moved back to the neighborhood I grew up in, because my parents retired and moved out from our family home, so I moved back in. I'd usually go for a quick run every morning to my local park, and when I was done, I'd go to a nearby bakery to grab a bite or get a coffee. Before long, I made friends with the owner of the bakery, Mark, and I'd occasionally hang out and chat with him, since he didn't have any other clients at 6:30 in the morning. One day, I went to his bakery, and he was there working with a former classmate of mine, Vicky, who used to bully me in high school. I was really awkward as a teenager, practically obese. I had no self-esteem, and she and another girl had picked up on it. The boys wouldn't really mess with me because I was never afraid to retaliate, but the girls were cruel in a different way. They'd pretend to hit on me aggressively in order to make me uncomfortable, and then mock me for it. It may sound silly now, but trust me, it wasn't fun back then, and it damaged my perception of women for quite some time. Anyway, as soon as Mark saw me, he told me to come over and meet his wife and co-owner of the bakery. She recognized me and was happy to see me, praising me for how much I've changed, and asking me what I was doing back in the old neighborhood. I wasn't really in the mood to talk to her, so I just forced out some fake pleasantries, bought something, bid them both a good day, and I left. I didn't visit their bakery for the next 3 to 4 weeks, and I had no intention of ever stepping foot in there again. But then Vicky sent me a message on Facebook. She wanted me to drop by the bakery again, because Mark thought that I stopped going there because we were in a relationship or something, and had been getting jealous. That was it. No apology or anything. She just needed something from me, and then had the nerve to ask for it directly. I went there the next week, and Mark greeted me happily, asking where I was the last few weeks, cause I had been a daily customer before meeting Vicky. So I told him why I stopped shopping from him, and explained in detail how his wife used to treat me in high school. Some of those details were quite graphic sexually. For example, she'd often describe to me how her then-boyfriend screwed her to make me uncomfortable, and definitely not what a man wants to think of when thinking about his wife, even if they happened 15 years ago. In the end, Mark understood me not wanting to shop there anymore and apologized to me on behalf of his wife. Vicky, on the other hand, still wasn't on such an apologizing mood, and she sent me a torrent of insults a few hours later, after Mark had apparently confronted her. I never even responded. I just blocked her on the spot. So, am I the a-hole? I guess I shouldn't have gone into so many details about her past, especially when it came to whom she used to F and how, but I was too angry to care at the time. It genuinely doesn't seem like she's changed as a person, so I think that your point stands, and you should be proud to have gone out there and told him that, instead of just ghosting and not saying anything the entire time. What she did was particularly disgusting to you back in the day, and I don't blame you for holding that grudge still. The fact that she's doubling down and again attacking you just really shows that she is not changed, and that's disgusting. I can't blame you, not the a-hole. Mark seems to understand the situation and wasn't upset with you even going into detail, but apparently Vicky hasn't changed at all. Yep, she didn't even make an effort to apologize for her past behavior or anything. She's only upset that she got called out on who she was in the past. That's why they say your past can sometimes come back to bite you in the ass. And that's the part that's so ridiculous to me. She responds by attempting to bully OP the same way she did 15 years ago? Talk about not being self-aware. Not the a-hole. I would honestly take it further and show Mark screenshots of the insults she'd sent you afterwards. She clearly doesn't understand that her actions have consequences. I agree. In fact, I'd go to Mark and show all those insults and request that Mark talk to his wife and try to stop her nonsense. You know what? She should bang Mark and then describe it in nuanced detail to Vicky. Nice. Not the a-hole. The best way to keep people from finding out you were an a-hole and a bully in the past? Don't be an a-hole and a bully. Simple. The other option would be to apologize profusely to OP. If she's grown as a person at all, that should have been the Facebook message immediately after meeting, if not brought up in person right away. And no matter what OP's response to the apology, she should have let her husband know what's up. People who are crappy teenagers can mature into well-adjusted adults, but adults don't pretend like their crappy past doesn't exist. They try to make amends where possible. Posted by user Queen of Math 212, titled, "Am I the a-hole for catching my cousin stealing in front of our entire family? I, female 18, noticed 6 months back that one of my lipsticks was missing, and I didn't think much of it, thinking, oh, I'll find it somewhere. And sometime after, a pair of my earrings go missing around the time my younger cousin, 7 female, comes around to play. And it didn't take long for me to realize that she steals something every time she comes over. Yesterday, she came over again, and just like I thought, one of my expensive makeup items was missing. She was still at home playing whilst our parents were chatting, so I call her into the living room and ask sweetly if she can show me what's in her bag. She freezes up and refuses, so I grab her bag and pull out what she stole. She starts weeping and crying, and claims that I gave her that to keep, which I didn't. To my surprise, her mother calls me a spoiled tramp for making a poor child cry who doesn't know right and wrong. And even if she did steal that cheap thing, you didn't have to humiliate her in front of everybody. And my mother agreed with her and let my cousin keep that lip gloss. My parents are calling me petty that I'm upset by a child, but I paid for it with my own money. That's not always easy to save as a college student. My dad says he'll get me another one, but only if I apologize to my cousin. Should I apologize to her? If you apologize to her, you're just saying, go ahead and take whatever you want anytime you go to anyone's house. That's acceptable behavior, and if you're caught, they have to apologize to you and you're allowed to keep doing it. How do all of these parents just defend this behavior? It really doesn't make any sense to me. All of them are enablers, and you shouldn't apologize. You should be blowing up at them more and getting an apology from them. Who knows what else she could steal, and we don't want that behavior repeating, do we? Not the a-hole. Ask your parents if they remember how old you were the first time they told you not to steal crap. 7 is a little bit too old to be pulling this crap. Sounds like you need to start putting everything out of reach, or locking your door when Little Miss Five Finger Discount visits. This. Also look at how the aunt devalued the item taken as cheap, so that the OP was making a big deal over something small when it's really nothing of the sort. Yeah, and it's besides the point. There's just all-around horrible parenting going on here. Aunt is teaching her kid that it's okay to steal from other people, including your own family, if the item in question isn't expensive. WTF, lol? She's going to learn real fast in the real world that stealing is stealing no matter what you steal. And OP's parents are teaching her to be submissive about her boundaries and her personal property if the items in question are small. Like, oh honey, you're at fault here if you call someone out for stealing if the thief and other adults deem it to be of little value. This just baffles the mind. Do not apologize, OP. Not the a-hole. Do not set the precedent with your family that this sort of behavior is okay. If you feel bad about embarrassing your not-so-little cousin, tell everyone that not only are you upset about her not respecting your boundaries, but that you're worried that she's being taught a very dangerous behavior at a young age that will not go over well in the future. Posted by user Throwaway Finance's Mum, titled, "Am I the a-hole for being mad my fiancé took $3,000 without my consent? Me, 26 female, and my fiancé, 32 male, have been engaged for 5 months now, and we're getting married in October. Ever since we got engaged, my fiancé and I decided to start saving up for our wedding, so we opened a joint bank account. We have a good sum of money. My fiancé does not put as much money as I do in because he stopped working a month after we opened the account, and it's just me saving up for now. My fiancé's mum is an absolutely awful person. She always tries to belittle me and say offensive stuff to me, but I'd just ignore her to keep the peace. I heard my mother-in-law was remodeling her kitchen, and that her two daughters contributed, and she started calling my fiancé to pay his share. He told her he didn't have the money, and the topic was dropped. Yesterday, I went to the bank, and I found out that my fiancé took $3,000 from our joint account without telling me. At first, I thought it was a mistake, but the money was indeed taken by him. I was confused, but he had a habit of taking money from me so he could buy his mum a birthday present, pay to fix her car, and would say that he'll give it back, but he never did. But I thought that since we're now as one, I can't possibly ask him to return the money. Plus, it wasn't that much. I went home and I confronted him about the $3,000. First, he apologized and said that he was planning on telling me earlier, but his mum was pressuring him and thought that I'd say no if he asked for the money. I got so mad at him for this, and I started yelling at him, asking him how he could do this, and that now we don't have enough money for the wedding. His tone changed, saying that since I make more than what I need, then he saw nothing wrong with helping his family. My job pays a little above average, but that doesn't mean I don't work hard for it. He basically got defensive. I was so angry that I left the apartment literally crying after we argued for some time. His mum called, and it turned out that he lied to his family that the money was his, since it was a joint account. She lashed out at me and said that I was trying to isolate him from his family and yelling at him for his contribution. I was stunned. I blocked her immediately, and I'm no longer responding to his calls, trying to say that he loves me and that it's worth billions. Saying he'll pay me back when he gets a job, but it doesn't seem likely. This is a very messy situation. The fact that he lied to the family and then lied to you by omission and then isn't apologizing when he's caught now, it really speaks volumes of his character, doesn't it? He doesn't seem like a trustworthy person, and because of that, getting defensive and all of this hiding, I do wonder what else he's hiding. It's not hard to extrapolate from this the thought that if he's willing to hide all of this, he's willing to hide other shady things he's doing on the side. I would proceed with caution in this one, and I definitely don't think that you're the a-hole for this. I think this husband is a piece of work, and I would keep my eye on him, because I wouldn't trust him at all after this. Not the a-hole. This won't change, and I'd advise you give your future a long, hard contemplation to see if this is the future you want. It was completely unacceptable. He went behind my back, took the money, and lied to his family that it was his. I'm a nurse. My job isn't easy. He doesn't get to sit at home, then decide to go to the bank and pull $3,000 just so his mum could remodel her kitchen. It's just unacceptable, and I can't seem to be able to move past his betrayal because that money was supposed to be my hard work for my wedding. I don't even know what he was thinking. I'd recommend calling off the wedding, taking all the money and leaving. Or take all of the money out of the account, then call off the wedding. Don't want to risk the leech taking even more of OP's money. At this point, that money is long gone. If fiancé didn't drain the account the second OP stopped taking his calls, I'll be shocked. Not the a-hole. Do you really want to marry into this? Your fiancé doesn't seem to respect you enough to at least discuss it with you, and at least half of that money is yours, so it's theft. If it was me, I'd be long gone. His total disregard for our wedding just so his mum could have her kitchen remodeled is beyond awful. He apologized and promised to pay it back once he gets a job, but now I'm literally running out of time and am thinking of taking some money I've put to the side for our honeymoon so I could have my wedding. But I just don't know how I'm going to be able to forgive and forget, especially when his mum told me that she was remodeling the kitchen so she could have our wedding at her house to save us money. Wow. So you're still trying to come up with plans to marry this mama's boy? Wow. You don't know this, but the problem is him, and you want to marry the problem. Jesus. Posted by user Kicked Her Out. Titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend she isn't welcome at my house anymore unless she seriously fixes her attitude regarding my best friend? Disclaimer, I am not seeking relationship advice or validation on it. I am seeking judgment on refusing to let her come to my house. I, 30 male, live with my best buddy Mark, 30. We decided 2 years ago. We were sick of paying higher rent costs and having crappy roommates, so we pooled our money together to put a deposit down on a house. It's a good arrangement as we both have our own separate spaces. It's cheaper paying a mortgage, and we do everything jointly. We have also been best friends for 20 plus years and enjoy living together. It's also important to note that I am straight and Mark is gay, but this has never bothered me and it doesn't impact how I see him. Mark is single after a breakup right now, and I've been seeing Hannah, or was seeing her, for about a year. I told her right from the start about my living arrangements, so in case she ever came to my house, she knew Mark lived there too. It never seemed to be an issue until Mark and his boyfriend broke up and Hannah's attitude changed. She started making comments saying she was uncomfortable with him around me and that he was making eyes at me a lot. I told her she was being ridiculous. So did Mark, and we both laughed at the ideas of being into each other. We are complete opposites and are more like brothers, and it weirds us both out that Hannah is making comments. I have told Hannah multiple times to stop, as this is Mark's house too, and I won't have him feeling crappy. Hannah just keeps ramping it up, and her comments are getting worse, to the point that she even said he wanted to make a move on me. I finally snapped. I told her that being gay doesn't automatically mean he wants to sleep with me, and her attitude is disgusting. She said she was joking, and I said it didn't feel like a joke. I told her, if you seriously can't change your attitude and treat Mark like a person, then you're not welcome here anymore. You are 30. Act like it. Get out. Hannah has been calling me an a-hole for treating her like a child, and some of her friends have messaged me saying that I'm being too harsh. I'm asking for judgment, as I may be the a-hole for being too firm and for not trying to talk to her about why she is speaking about Mark this way instead of downright refusing to let her be near him. I can't actually blame you for doing that to her. She was genuinely asking for it when she didn't let it down when you and Mark kept telling her to her face, "You're 30, stop this stupid game you're playing with us, we're not trying to bang each other, love, we're best friends, not butt buddies." If she's unwilling to accept reality and has that much resentment for your gay best friend, then, fair game that you're going to kick her out. You don't need that sort of negativity in your life. You can't live and be in a relationship with someone that's constantly judging you and your best friend. It doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work like that. Not the a-hole. Updates. I have come to the conclusion Hannah and I are no more. Thank you for your comments. And final update, love who you love. Gay, straight, bi, pan, whatever. Who cares? Love whoever you want to love and enjoy your lives. Easy not the a-hole. She's still stuck in the gay equals will make a move on any dude homophobic trope and needs to either get a reality check or to be gone. Stand up for your best friend and F homophobia. He's seen me half naked and naked before when I'm running to the shower, or just shirtless or whatever, and I can tell you, I have never seen someone as disinterested as him. That's not even the point, to be honest. He could have never seen you in those situations, and without proven absence of interest, that wouldn't change her point of view, reducing gay people to their sexuality. The male version of her homophobic fantasy is, ugh, I can't be around gays. What if they're looking at my butt while I'm not aware? Lol, I'm picturing the 300-pound neckbeard with buffalo wing sauce stains on his shirt who's panicked that the hot fit gay dude at work is going to try to turn him. At those people, I love throwing the closet-ish smell of their gay sexual fantasy. Doesn't solve anything, but the satisfaction is there every time. Homophobia starts to make a lot more sense when you realize that homophobic guys are just scared of gay men treating them the same way that they treat women. Ooh. Not the a-hole. Hannah is disgusting and is displaying homophobic attitudes and language. She is equating Mark, who is gay, to being a sexual predator waiting to pounce on you. It's very hard for people like that to change, and I honestly would rethink if she's someone you want to be with. It's clear how much you care about Mark, and I applaud you for defending your best friend. But she is poison, and if she continues to be around him, she'll keep dripping her poison. Yeah, The fact that she is continuing to egg it on just shows that she's not gonna stop. She'll never treat Mark with the respect he deserves. She'll see him as the gay guy. He won't be the guy who makes the best guacamole, or the guy with the most movie trivia knowledge, or the guy who likes funny pictures of llamas, or the guy with the great singing voice, or the guy who is her friend's boyfriend's best friend. Homophobic people like her stop seeing the person when they come out to them. They are now just gay. I know you said you weren't looking for relationship advice, but I think you already know that the two of you hold different values and respect different things. You're only a year in and she doesn't live with you. That taste of homophobia you just got is just the beginning of her many layers. I've been with my guy for 9 years and we didn't become completely aware of each other's worst traits until we had our first child. We are still together 4 years later with a second child, so we were compatible through the trying times. Do you think that's going to be the case with your girlfriend? Okay, and I think that's where we're going to end today's episode, guys. As always, I do hope you enjoyed it, and maybe even learned something from these stories. Just want to say a quick shout out to my Patreon subscribers and my channel members. You guys should be on the screen right now. If you do see yourself, I want you to give yourself a little pat on the back for being amazing and supporting me on this channel, this little journey we're going on the YouTubes. I really appreciate it, and you guys enabled me to do all this amazing work. So if you do see yourself, I love your face and I'm happy to see you. Also guys, if you want to pitch in your own support, you don't have to, but channel links are down in the description below to support the Patreon, the channel membership, whatever you want to do. It's kind of like tipping me if you feel like I'm doing a good job on this channel. I will be opening up avenues for content on those in the future. Just right now I'm kind of bogged down and stuck in Ireland, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway guys, with that said, I do hope you have a wonderful day today. Whatever you're up to, I'd love to know down in the comments below. I do hope you have a good day, night, sleep. Whatever you're up to today, tell me, and I'll see you in the next episode, guys. Bye.